All right, if you are a marketer, you work at a marketing agency, or you own a small business, the most important thing you need to understand about getting the job done is actually how all of these relationships work between users and profiles, assets and channels, and actual business entities themselves. One of the most common questions we get as an agency, internally and externally, is how to navigate things like Facebook Business Manager, where Facebook pixels are, Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, how to upgrade my personal profile to a business profile, how to make a page. All of these questions really, for someone starting a business too, of like, how do I separate myself from my business? How do I separate my work from my business? And how do these relationships actually work together for a marketing agency to be able to do their job? And so we've put this on my iPad here. And I love my iPad. I would definitely suggest an iPad to teach others and yourself anything. And we are going to be covering real quick the relationship between users, assets, and entities. Because this will solve a lot of questions, like strategically is a word some people want to use, but really just tactically of how to navigate these things and why they matter. So the first is users. So users, likes, comments, posts, messages, right? People have been liking things for years. People have been, sending letters. They have been, creating things for others for a long time. And it wasn't until channels and platforms came around, like blogs and newsletters and social media channels, that people were able to collect that data and able to actually figure out what people like, what they engage with, what they create, and who they talk to. There was no way for that to be consolidated. And so now we have all these channels for that to happen, right? We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Quora, Pinterest, your favorite blog, your favorite news channel, your favorite YouTube list, your subscription list, etc. And that took us into the asset stage, the platform stage. And this is where the separation immediately happens for the businesses. So profiles started interacting with businesses. Okay, so at first all these profiles usually start off as just people to people. But then once so many people are there in those platforms can monetize by allowing businesses to send their information back to these people. And that's usually in the form of ads, but it can also be with organic content, okay? And those assets, what is considered an asset to the digital world, are things like a website. Things like your domain, www.yourcompany.com, tristanparmley.com. Your Instagram profile, that's a business or a business profile. Your Facebook page, your YouTube. I guess I should make these blue for now. Your YouTube, your Facebook, your accounts there, right? As a business. That allows you to market back to these users, which is fantastic. But then what? That is a short-term strategy, essentially. If you're making a bunch of content, you are earning customers, people who are engaging with you, and because you put stuff out there, you're putting out work, people are coming back to you, and you're earning their attention, you're earning their credits, right? And if you were to serve these exact same things as an ad, because you can serve all those things as an ad to users, then you are renting their attention. You are paying to be able to see those users, okay? And this is where Facebook, Google, and other companies decided to start creating business managers, because they were not able to tell, and we're going to come right back to this assets section here in a second, but they were not able to tell the difference between what entities, what accounts, we're talking to what users all the time. And that introduced, the data wars of being able to own traffic, be able to own attention. So right? When we're doing content, we're earning traffic. When we're paying, we're renting traffic. And when we collect an email, when we have a Facebook pixel installed to collect clicks or a Google Analytics account, and when we have content that people are consuming that we can send money to and we can retarget, we own attention. So I guess we just write owned. And that is what everyone is going for. That's why so many marketers push for emails. That's why lead magnets are so important. That's why pixels are so important. And that's why like video views specifically are so important, because you can retarget people who consume a lot of your content. Okay? And so now we can retarget back to those same people with messages, clicks, and content based on what they've done. And the medium of exchange in these assets, in these owned categories, of the domain, of the channels, of likes and subscribers and email lists, can all also be filtered using data platforms like Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Facebook Pixels, even UTM, Unique Tracking Metrics. I think that's what it stands for. It's something like that. I don't use them very often, as you can tell. But we use all of these other strategies with our clients because we know that users are on all of the channels, okay? We know that they're sending comments and posts and likes, and so we first try to get our clients on every channel, and we reproduce that content so they can earn some attention. Then we pay for video views and reach so they can rent attention, and we try to drive them to their website so they can own some attention. Okay, and this usually starts by pushing people to a website because it can have your pixels, it can also have your email subscription list, it can also collect clicks, and it can have content. So it usually goes to yourcompany.com. But then we also will push people to these individual assets because you can retarget people who have gone to your Facebook or Instagram. Lastly is the entities, the payments. So we went from platforms, we went from basically people to platforms to payments, right? So we had to have people needed these platforms to be able to integrate with each other and these assets, and now they needed a way to pay to be able to give these companies money. So that's where you start to introduce offers, and this is where Business Manager and Facebook pages and all these things started to become extremely important, because now all these users are going to the website to be able to pay these people money. And you can tell Facebook and Google and these other accounts, hey, these are my types of customers, and I want those types of customers to see this type of content on these channels. But Facebook did not know, who owned what business. And so with Business Manager, they started adding in tax verification. So whatever you're spending on ads is verified with them and your country's, tax department, for us, the IRS. They started adding in business verification. They started adding in account verification because people's accounts would get hacked. They started adding in ad policies because people were running things that maybe were too political or maybe were medically, inclusive to these people. And the rules started getting stricter and stricter and stricter on what entities, businesses can do on these platforms, and then ideally what they can send to these users. And so that's the relationship between all of these organizations. That's why the Business Manager, for example, at Facebook is so important to have clean. You need to verify your domains. You need to own your Instagram accounts. You need to verify your business assets. You need to verify your personal accounts, because there's only one of you, and people started impersonating other accounts, hacking other emails, and you can lose this opportunity to have this own traffic, these emails. these clicks, this content. And so as a marketing agency or as a marketer in general, with all of these things, intertwining now, this looks like a super complex diagram because we're sending it all in and out. The most important thing is that we work in this section right here. And I'm going to cut it out and pull it down to the bottom. It's going to pull a bunch of stuff with it. But we work right here in the assets section. We are helping our clients with their assets all the time. We help them make websites. We help them verify their domains. We help them make their accounts. We help them manage their email lists. We help them put their Facebook pixels on, which you can see over here. I guess I don't even need to erase all this. I can just add more lines. But we help them with all of these relationships. That's what we do as an agency. They, based off their product and service, are in control of the users, and they are the ones who own the entities. We manage their digital assets. And that makes the relationship between, and why we do so many accounts, crystal clear. No matter what the accounts are, we are helping them manage their digital assets, and we are in the business of helping them create more digital assets. And that's pretty much the relationship between everything online. Thanks.